myself too.
So I'll start this off with my favorite questions
Okay.
that I ask every celebrity that I have as a guest on my show.
Okay.
And then we're going to open it up to the floor because it's really all about the fans. It's about you guys. That's why we're all here.
Yes.
And I'm going to ask you all to keep your questions at one per person, and you're going to line up behind that mic. So feel free to start lining up if you want the first question. But meanwhile, who's your favorite superhero?
My favorite superhero. Batman? Spider-Man? Batman? Spider-Man? Wonder Woman! I have the underoos. I do. I wear them. Not right now.
Who's your favorite villain?
My favorite villain? The Joker.
He's good,
Yeah. Jack Nicholson.
Okay, old school. Jack Nicholson, nice. All right. And who's your real life hero? Who inspires you?
Who inspires me? Absolutely no one. No, just kidding.
That's inspirational in itself.
That's a very personal question, who inspires me. Well, I mean, I don't know, I mean, just everyday people, really, you know, just working moms. I don't know how they do it.
That was my mom, single mom.
Yes.
They're still working.
Yeah.
Yes, they inspire us all. Well, excellent. Step up to the mic, make sure you speak clearly into it, and let's get this started.
Yeah.
Is that not on?
I don't, no, it is not.
Let me turn my phone off, by the way.
Maybe,
I saw Leonard Nimoy take a call in the middle of a panel from his wife in Phoenix. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen. And he's like, I normally don't do this. Hi, honey, say hi to the crowd.
Well, Charisma just texted me, so.
It's your show. You can take a phone call. Do whatever you want. Where'd our sound guy go? Did he leave the room?
If you can scream loud enough,
no,
you can.
well, I have a good I've been told by a few voice actors I have a good stage voice, so you can hear me, right?
Yes.
All right. First of all, I want to ask if I can come up and take a closer picture of you.
That's completely up to her, but I know they do photo ops downstairs, and that's a big part of the whole convention, but that's completely up to her. But once you get that ball rolling, that's when things get crazy in here.
I know. I mean, I don't know how it works.
Yeah, we should leave that for the floor.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right, that's fine. That's not my real question.
Okay, good. I'll be the evil villain up here. No.
It's fine.
What's your question?
I've had to be mean for people before. I've also worked conventions, so.
I hate it.
Yeah, it's a bitch. I wanted to ask you, Julie.
Yes.
Because of, and it is a question that I am asking a few of the actors, what parts of yourself did you feel like you had to access for Darla? Like,
The evil killing side.
What did you take from
Those
yourself?
PMS moments.
Yeah, what did you take from yourself and put into Darla?
Go ahead and repeat the question for people online.
Okay, the question was, what did I take from myself and put into Darla? Well, considering I'm not really a 400-year-old blood-sucking vampire, you know, ultimately, I think what I really related to...
Okay, it works now.
Oh, great. I think what I really related to in Darla was, I think we've all experienced what it is to love somebody who doesn't love you back, and I've always viewed Darla as like the jilted ex-wife that will never get over her love of Angel. And it's like, if I can't have you, then no one else can. And I think we've all experienced that on some level, maybe not to the extreme that Darla experienced it, but we've all experienced that heartbreak at some point in our lives. And so that for me was where, that was the key to the character for me. And what was so great about playing her was I got to be so badass. And I'm not in real life, so it was fun to be able to kind of pretend to be this very strong, badass woman and take that home with me.
Excellent.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
What's your question, sir?
Well, first of all, I just want to congratulate Julie on having a career, because I was really happy when Darla from Buffy actually started popping up in things like Rambo and ABC Primetime, so congratulations.
Thank you.
On that. My question, I get really peeved though when I read the lists of things that people in Roswell have been in and they never list Roswell, because to me that's the diamond in the rough. You can find a Buffy and Firefly fan anywhere here. They're all Buffy Firefly fans. I know 2 fellow Roswell fans in the world, so that's the real diamond in the rough for me. So I just want to ask you very generically about Roswell and your experience on that, just whatever you have to say. So.
Oh, I loved working on Roswell. It was at a time where I was also doing Angel at the same time, and I wasn't allowed to be on both shows, although I kind of slipped under the radar and got on both shows. And the WB eventually took me off of Roswell to put me back onto Angel. But it was such a wonderful experience. I mean, it was Colin Hanks' first job, and he would come to me for acting advice, and I'd look at him and be like, out of everybody you have access to in your life, you're coming to me? So it was really just a wonderful group of people, a wonderful group of actors. Jonathan Frakes, who directed many of the episodes that I was in, I'm just madly in love with to this day. I mean, it's just wonderful experience all around. So I wish I'd gotten to do more of Topolsky.
And Bill Sadler as well, one of the best actors in the world.
Yes, yes. I mean, it's just a wonderful cast.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hi, Julie.
Hi.
My question's a little bit more fun, and I'm wondering how Sugar and Bamboo are doing and what interesting antics they've been up to.
Sugar and Bamboo are my dogs, and if you follow me on Twitter, at Julie Benz, but you all should follow me on Twitter because I think I'm funny.
You are funny.
I amuse myself, actually. I don't know if that
right
anything
now.
else, but Sugar and Bamboo are separated at the moment. Because Sugar is with me in New Orleans. I'm working in New Orleans on a new movie for TNT called Ricochet, which will be out November 22nd, shameless plug. And Bamboo is back in LA, experiencing single life. I recently posted a picture of him and what he's doing while I'm out of town, and he was drinking a Pimm's Cup at a party. That dog gets around. Sugar was supposed to come to Chicago, but because I'm only here for 24 hours, I felt it best to leave her behind. So she's playing like Eloise in the hotel, you know, being watched by everybody in the hotel in New Orleans and having a great time. I call her the ambassador of goodwill, because we can't walk down the street without like 27 people stopping and wanting to pet her. And she's like this. Like, she's really hot. It's really hot in New Orleans right now. So yeah, that's what they've been doing.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hi, Julie.
Hi.
The question I have for you is, what was your favorite episode of Buffy to be in, and why?
My favorite episode of Buffy or my favorite episode of Angel?
Buffy.
Buffy. Well, I only did
About 5 or 6, I think.
4.
Well, I checked the website, it said 5 and 6.
No, I swear I did 4, because I did 3. You guys would know better than I do, so.
Well, like I said, I saw on the website, it said 5 and 6 counting the automated pilot, so.
Oh, okay, well maybe, I don't know.
We don't know.
Anyway, oh yeah, because there was the crossover episode. That's right, you guys know more than I do. What was my favorite? I loved it when I tried to kill Buffy with some guns. That was kind of fun. It was kind of smart. Like, here I am, this vampire. I mean, I could just like suck her blood, and I just had the balls. Oh, sorry, kids. I just had the nerve to like bring like some guns and be like, I can shoot you. Followed by another word I don't want to say. But like, you know, I just thought it was really funny. I had a blast doing that scene.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Hi, Julie. I have a Dexter question for you.
Yes.
How did you feel about Rita being killed off by Trinity?
Wow, I absolutely was shocked. Probably more shocked than all of you. They told me about an hour before they put out the script. So yeah, they called me into a little meeting. I actually kind of figured something was happening as I was walking down the hall to the meeting. Because they don't call you in for a meeting unless they're going to kill you. Having been through it before, a couple times, I realized, wow, I think I'm dying. So yeah, I mean, I was really shocked. I felt, I felt it was a little short-sighted. I would have loved to have explored what would have happened if Rita had ever found out the truth about Dexter, but that was not to be. Your job as an actor in television is you're hired to tell a story that the writers want to tell, and we have no ownership over the role or anything. So, my first reaction, to be honest, was, "Oh my God, I just lost my job." And then, then my second reaction was, "What about the baby? Who's going to raise the baby?" I think I actually said that. So, yeah. But after a couple margaritas, I got over it.
Thank you.
Hi. Hi.
That was actually my question.
Oh,
That
so
I
now
was
think
gonna
of a new one.
But one of the funny well, maybe not funny maybe more ironic things that I find when people become more and more known and more famous and have more and more celebrity is going back and watching older things.
Oh, God.
And
I don't like people like you.
most people don't. And going back and saying, "Holy crap, that's Julie Benz before she was Julie Benz."
I was always Julie Benz.
Well, yeah, but it's like, when
I'm still just
before
Julie.
anybody was recognizable. So one of my favorite movies is As Good as It Gets.
Yes.
And you mentioned Nicholson, so that popped it in my head. And what was it like working with Nicholson? Because when I saw that years later, I said, "Holy crap, it's Julie Benz before she was Julie Benz."
Yeah, that's when I had like a bad haircut. I had just gotten to LA, I think, when we did that. Wow, what was it like to work with him? I was completely overwhelmed the whole time. I mean, not only was I working with Jack Nicholson, but Jim Brooks was directing it as well, who's like an amazing director. So I had no clue why I was even on set. Like, I was like, why'd they hire me? I was extremely nervous. All I remember is at one point, a couple things. First, Jack was in a bathrobe when he introduced himself to me as Jack Nicholson, and I went, "Yeah, I know." Trying to be cool, like, no shit, I know who you are. Whoops, I'm sorry. Yeah. But, and then at one point he came out, I was so overwhelmed. During rehearsal, I was trying to be all cool, and I'm sitting there swiveling in the chair. And if you know the scene, I'm swiveling in the chair. That was me being nervous. I'm swiveling in the chair, and as soon as I stood up in the middle of rehearsal, literally, I felt like the room started to spin. I thought I was going to black out. Like I couldn't say anything except, "Oh my God, you're Jack Nicholson." And he looked at me, and there was like silence on set. And he leveled me with that stare of his, and he went, "Yes, honey, I am." I said, "Great, now you got that out of the way. I can continue." And at one point he came over, he whispered something in my ear. I still to this day have no idea what he said. I was like, I just can't believe he's this close to me. Like, I could touch him. Like, so, he didn't hit on me, though. I was disappointed. That's right, I'm the only woman in Hollywood that Jack Nicholson has never hit on.
Don't take that personal.
Why?
He's getting old.
Still. What's this say about me?
He knew you were out of his league.
No.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's
I wanted to turn him down, but I was like, I thought, I was all prepared, and not once did he hit on me.
Okay, beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next question.
Hi, Julie. I just wanted to say you are such a powerhouse. I love you and everything. You're just like a force. Rawr, I love it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I also wanted to say you're not the only Roswell fan, because I love Roswell. And you were amazing in it.
Thank you.
Also, my question is, I know that a couple of the ladies, Claire and Mercedes, did their panel yesterday, and they were saying how, they're all really close, and you guys all have a close bond with one another. What was it like? Because you were on Buffy, and then you were gone for a long time, and then you were on Angel, and you're like back and forth. What was the relationship with yourself and the other actors, actresses, writers, everybody? Because you were like popping in and out all the time.
And also on Buffy and Angel, I only predominantly worked with David. So while we were actually filming the show, I only really knew David and Christian Kane. I mean, it wasn't, and Juliet. I mean, I didn't really work with many other people. It wasn't until season 3 of Angel that I actually shared screen time with Charisma. It was like our first time together on screen. So I would say our relationships definitely developed outside of the show after the show was over. But while we were filming, I mean, it's hard when you're filming to really have any kind of life, and they were all working hard, and you're right, I would pop in and out, and I'd be over on Roswell, I'd be over here, I'd be over there, so, it was a friendly work environment, but I would say most of our very close relationships developed after the show was over.
Wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi.
Hi.
You had 4 great death scenes as Darla. You were staked by Angel, bitten by the master and Drusilla, and you staked yourself.
Yes.
Do you have a favorite death scene?
Great question.
Well, I love them all. I have a funny, honestly, I think they were all quite brilliant. I think the way the writers created Darla and every line of dialogue, everything that they used to create this amazing character was just perfect. There's no flaws in what they created. Felt like it was such a gift just to play her. I will say that when we did the death with the master, when I was the prostitute, Tim Minear was directing that episode, and I ran up to Tim and I said, oh, can I have like nasty sores all over my mouth? And he looked at me and he was like, really? And I was like, yeah, it'll be great. So he goes, okay, if that's what you want. And so I ran down to hair and makeup, and I said to David DeLeon, who was doing my makeup, I said, Tim said I could have nasty sores all over my mouth. And he was like, really? You want to go on camera with nasty sores? I'm like, yeah. Episode of No Ordinary Family. You know what? I loved the very first episode. We shut down the 710 freeway so I could go for a run. It was pretty awesome, running on the freeway. And the 710 freeway is a very busy freeway in LA. So just the fact that I was the cause of a major traffic jam was really cool. Thank you. You're welcome. Bye.
I think I was stuck in that traffic jam.
Probably.
I get stuck in all of them. What's your question, sir?
Hi, Julie.
Hi.
And, I really
Speaking
love
into
your
the mic.
work. So I really love your work as Darla, but I really Dexter I just love. Your character as Reed, I just love it. Can you just talk about your experience working with Michael Hall?
Yeah, I was a huge fan of 6 Feet Under. So when I was auditioning for the role, when they sent me the script, I loved it immediately. I'm like, this is the kind of dark, twisted show I like to watch, right? So I was really excited. And originally they had me audition for both Rita and Deborah. And I will tell you, I was disillusioned at the time. I really thought I was a Deborah. Only because I wanted to say every nasty, dirty word on TV. I was like, what actress doesn't want to be able to swear? It's awesome. And I have obviously, as you can tell, I have a problem with swearing. So I was excited. So I took us off on the Deborah material, and I barely even read the Rita stuff. And I was like, and literally for me to play Deborah was like trying to shove a square peg into a round hole. It did not fit. And I had to pre-read for it, and I went in and pre-read with a casting assistant, and they're like, okay, we're gonna bring you to the producers for both roles, and I was like, okay, and once again, I barely even looked at Rita, and I took us off on Deborah, and as soon as I walked into the room, the producers took one look at me, and they went, oh my God, you're Rita. And I was like, what? I am? No, I like to swear. I'm Deb. They're like, no, you're Rita. And I was like, okay. And I learned a very important lesson. When you're auditioning for something, you have to really know who you are. And I always get the roles that I don't have to work so hard at. Those are the things that that are just the natural perfect fit. And Rita was the natural perfect fit for me. So I had a test for it with Michael. And I was a nervous wreck because, 6 Feet Under had just ended. It was my ringtone. I was a big Psycho Stalker fan of Michael's. So I was nervous. I was really, really nervous. And I tested, and I got the role. And when we were shooting the pilot, my cell phone rang one day in front of him. And he just kind of looked at me, and I was like, I'm sorry. I'm just the biggest fan. Like, I haven't told you yet, but I've seen every episode like 6 times. I know every line of dialogue. I love you. He was very sweet about it. And then I changed my ringtone after that. I didn't want anyone else to hear it. So, but he's great to work with. He's an amazing actor. It's like, I've never worked with someone who's just so amazingly talented and just really gifted.
Thank you.
Oh no, I'm not that talented. No, I work very hard at it.
What's your question, ma'am?
All right, my question is, one of my small group of friends' favorite things to do at home is to sit around and think of what if they had done this on the show and come up with our own little plots and storylines. As your character, Darla, what would you have written for yourself if you could have put your own little plot or your own little storyline that never made it onto the show in?
I wanted to see what Darla was doing in the 70s. I think she was like hanging out with Andy Warhol and like killing people, doing the whole disco scene, maybe wearing some roller skates. I don't know. I was begging them. I'm like, I want to see Darla in the 70s. Like, let's do it.
Bell bottoms galore.
Yeah. I just wanted the clothes. It would have been fun. So that was about it. Like I said, I think she was so well crafted and so amazingly put together by the writers that, and I'm not a very creative person, so what they did with her was just brilliant and amazing to me.
Thank you.
We're almost out of time here, so make your questions short and sweet.
Okay. Hi, Julie.
Hi.
First, let me say that whatever it was Jack Nicholson was whispering to you was probably when he was hitting on you.
No, I don't think he was. I wish.
And my question is that since Darla has this rich and colorful history, if the chance were offered to you, would you ever be interested in doing a period piece on just Darla?
Oh yeah,
A film?
Yes, definitely, definitely. I would love to revisit Darla. The only problem is I'm getting older and she doesn't age. We're gonna do it soon. If they wait another 20 years, they're gonna have to recast. I'll play Darla's grandmother.
I got a Boondock Saints question.
Okay.
What was it like stepping onto that set after such a time between the two movies, the huge cult following it has, and the core cast? What was it like just trying to step onto and get into the rhythm of that?
I'll be honest with you, I'd never heard of Boondock Saints. I hadn't heard of it. All I know is I got sent this really fun script. And I knew it was a sequel, but I didn't do any of my research, and I just knew that I loved Eunice Bloom. I absolutely loved her. And they put me through the ringer auditioning for her. But it was fun. I loved playing her, even if all the chance I got was to audition and play her in the audition room. That's all I cared about. I thought she was fantastic. So one day I'm working out with my trainer, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go do this movie. It's a sequel to something about a boondock something. And he's like, wait a second, Boondock Saints? And I was like, yeah, I think that's it. And he freaked out. So I had no clue. I'd never even watched the first one, which I think was good. Because if I had known I was trying to walk in Willem Dafoe's shoes, I probably never would have said yes. But to be there on set with everyone, they're such a tight-knit crew, and if you've met those guys, they're dudes. It's a very dude-oriented set. So I had to, I had to hold my own in the boys' club, keep them in line a little bit, make them be slightly afraid of me. But the coolest thing was, I got to do so many cool things with Eunice. Aside from the wardrobe and the shoes, which were my own, learning how to twirl pistols. I now have a weird party trick I can do. I can twirl a pistol. How cool is that? So it was great.
Great, Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Julie.
Hi.
My question is, out of all the characters you've played, which one's your favorite and why?
I was hoping someone was going to ask that.
God, that's impossible to ask. It's like asking me to pick my favorite kind of chocolate. I love them all equally, the same. Every character I've played has seemed to like given me knowledge about my life during what I'm going through in my life during that period of time. It's interesting how there's everything goes kind of hand in hand. And I've had some amazing experiences and I've worked with some amazing people. So if it's not the role that was interesting, it was the people I was working with, or the location we were filming in, or the clothes, because I love clothes. Every character has been a challenge for me and an amazing journey, and I've really enjoyed them all. So I can't pick. It's like, listen, can you pick your favorite child?
No.
Right. Somebody said yes over here. Oh, if you only have one. All right. But think about it. I've got like 20 kids. If you name every character as a kid, I've got all these great characters I've played, and to me, it's like nurturing a child. It's I don't know. I love them all.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm too short. Hi, Julie. My question is, you said that you were a huge Michael C. Hall fan before you got on the show, and I was wondering, working with Jennifer Carpenter and Michael C. Hall and them, how terribly intimidating was that?
How terribly intimidating was?
Like working with all those actors and being around them and everything, and being a huge fan of Michael C. Hall, because you were flawless as Rita, and I was just wondering how you did that, being around them.
Oh, well, I don't know.
Apparently she's more intimidated by you.
No, working with Michael, you just have to fake it.
Yeah?
This is called faking it. You just pretend you don't know who they are.
Well, that's awesome, and you did great, and also I bawled my eyes out when you died, just so you know.
Oh, thank you, I did too. I've never actually watched that scene.
Oh.
No need, I lived it. You think I need to see an image of myself? Close your ears if you haven't seen it.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. You think I need to see the image of myself dead in the bathtub of blood and a baby crying there?
That would upset the dogs.
I did a couple shots before I got in that bathtub, by the way.
I might have to go do one now.
The producers don't know that, so don't tell anybody. Can we erase this?
Yeah. I hope they're not paying attention at home.
Hi.
Hi. Originally, I was a little close, aren't I? I was going to ask you if you had seen The Hour of Television, but you haven't seen it, so...
I've seen the 45 minutes of it.
Not the final scene.
I just didn't see the last two.
Going off that, how far in advance did you know about Rita's, spoiler alert?
An hour before they put out the script.
Seriously?
Seriously.
Wow. Okay, that was...
Yeah.
Part of my
And let me tell you something. I gave myself 24 hours to get over it. I wasn't supposed to tell anybody, but of course, I told all my friends. And we all gathered at this really wonderful, wonderful restaurant in LA called Murdock's. And we ate lots of Mexican food, and we all drank margaritas in honor of Rita. And I got blitzed, wasted, drunk, crying. Like, it was awesome. It was like the best funeral you've ever been to.
Your own?
Yes. And then I didn't have to go to work the next day, but then the day after that I had to go to work, and it was like, all right, put on your game face, finish it out, do your job, because that's what I'm hired to do. So, and then try and find another job, because I like to work. I like to make money.
Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I was wondering for another question because everyone else took mine, so you're awesome and that's all I got. Just want to come here and say
I think we can all agree with that. I got here late, so you probably discussed this already. Darla, she started out as a vampire cheerleader, and then didn't last very long. But then they brought her back, because I guess they realized what they had. And so I can't remember how many times you died and came back.
How many times I died? 4.
And what's Juliet Landau like?
Juliet? Oh, she's wonderful. She's very sweet. She's a very, very serious actress. And I'm not. I mean, I'm serious about what I do, but I'm actually very playful. And she's very serious. She has all these journals and all this stuff, and I don't know, I just do it. But we had a lot of fun working together, because we actually have the same training background, so it was fun. And she's just, I respect and admire her so much, because she just throws herself, she immerses herself so into it. And I love that. I love seeing an actor who loves to work really hard. I wish it was me. I mean, I work hard, but, you know, I like my clothes. I don't know.
Gotta pay for that gym membership.
Yeah.
And your next project?
My next project, I'll be on A Gifted Man on CBS starting in September, 8 o'clock on Friday nights. And a TNT movie called Ricochet, which is based on Sandra Brown's novel of the same name. You should all read the book before you watch the movie, because it's really cool. That'll be on November 22nd. And then I have a movie coming out in the theaters on December 2nd called Answers to Nothing. It's a little indie film I did with Dane Cook and Elizabeth Mitchell. Is that it?
We got time for another question. Yeah, there you go. Take advantage, sir.
You got it.
Overall, what about you for watching stuff for you? What's your like favorite stuff?
That I like to watch?
Yeah.
Oh, right now I'm obsessed with Parenthood.
Okay.
I think
it's good stuff. Good stuff.
I think the work, I think the actors.
The writing.
Oh, tremendous. It's Jason Katims who did Roswell.
Yeah.
And I would love to work with him again. I think he's just phenomenal. What else am I? Oh, The Good Wife. I mean, if you're not watching The Good Wife, you should be watching The Good Wife.
Okay.
It's great drama.
Okay. That's it?
And Basketball Wives is my dirty little secret.
What about Breaking Back?
What about what?
Breaking Back.
You know, I haven't gotten into it. I heard it's really dark.
It's again, come on, it's Dexter, come on.
I know, but I heard it's really dark.
No Game of Thrones?
I haven't gotten into it yet.
You need to get on it.
The killing was really good. I like the killing.
Oh.
I know. They just got picked up for their 5th season too.
Leverage.
I know. Actually, to be honest with you, I don't watch a lot of television. As if I sit down, I fall asleep. It's not narcolepsy, it's just called overworked.
Yeah.
I think most women can relate, right? When you're at home, there's always something that has to be done, and if you don't do it, it doesn't get done. So if I sit down to watch TV, I'm like, so I don't really watch much.
All right. See ya.
Thanks.
Hi.
Hi.
My question for you is, do you think if Buffy and Angel were to start today, do you think they would be on cable, or would they rather go for a network? Like, would they have rather pushed the envelope even more, or has the envelope been pushed so far by now? Like, what would you think?
I don't know. I mean, I think, we have quite a few. I mean, listen, we've got vampires on cable and we got vampires on network. So, I mean, I don't watch any of those shows just because once you play a vampire in Joss Whedon's world, it's really hard to watch a vampire in anybody else's world. And that whole, sparkle thing. I saw one and I laughed. I thought it was a joke. I'm like, is this a comedy? Anyway, I didn't mention what I'm talking about, so none of you know. So I don't really know. I mean, I think that I think the show, Vampire Diaries does really well for network, and I think also True Blood does extraordinary for cable. So I think we have both sides, and they're both great examples. So I don't know I don't think we would have those shows if we hadn't had Buffy and Angel leading the way. So that's my stand.
I agree.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I just had a question more about you, like directed to you as an insider of the Hollywood industry.
I'm not that inside.
Oh, okay.
I flirt on the outside, on the outskirts.
Then I guess however much you can say on the topic, but it's really interesting to hear about how your character did get killed off on Dexter, because we as fans are really invested in the narrative and the character that we've spent so much time with. So hearing about how you only heard about her death an hour before you got the script is like crazy, and it must have been really alienating for you sort of as a professional. Just like hearing about an actor like experiencing that is really crazy. So I was wondering if there are any situations ever, aside from the ones where like a writer, producer is like starring in his own role, like are there ever situations where an actor does get input into the narrative of like a TV show or a movie, or are there ever co-constitutive like situations like that?
Well, if you see an actor that has a producing credit on the show, that means they have a bit of a say. But the rest of us don't know anything. I mean, we don't know where storylines are going. They don't. A lot of it, the creators and the writers are really they have the control, and then they have to deal with the network too. So, a lot of times storylines aren't even approved, so they can't even tell us. But if you see an actor that has a producing credit, then that means they have somewhat of a say into what's going on creatively. But I've never had that.
Okay,
I'd like
thank
to
you.
have that.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi, you.
This is our last question. I'm getting a sign from the back of the hall.
Okay.
Let me just say one thing real fast so before she asks. I would say that if I did have a producing credit on the show, I would make sure I didn't get killed off. So that would be nice.
So I really like your standard questions about supervillains and heroes, but my standard question is, if you could choose, would you be a supervillain or a superhero, and what power would you have?
There's good, interesting things about playing both, but I like playing bad.
Yeah, villains have more fun.
And you get better clothes.
Yeah.
It's true. You get like sexier stuff. I mean, when you play good, you're like in jeans and like a shirt and looking all sweet. I like playing bad because you get all the character I'm playing right now is a bit of a vixen, and you're not. I don't want to reveal if she's good or bad or not, but you're not sure if she's good or bad. And I got the best wardrobe. Love it. Yeah, I love that. You get really great shoes too when you play bad. When you play good, you're like in loafers. It's not fun. Somebody's looking at me like I'm nuts over there.
So
one person is looking at me like I'm nuts. You guys get my humor, right? Okay.
It's a good kind of crazy.
Yeah.
All right, well, give her a big round of applause, everybody. Julie Benz. We'll be streaming more live video in another hour.
Rampage Fitness Academy is located at 23681 Via Linda, Suite A, in Mission Viejo, California, 92691. Call them at 949-830-7267. Cardio kickboxing, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, regular boxing, yoga, or women's classes only. Rampage Fitness Academy has it all. Check them out at rampagefitnessacademy.com.